Alright, welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's pre-orders, and they are live. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Alright, so here we have the next of our boarding patrols. We have the boarding patrol Adeptus Custodes, Thousand Sons, and Sororitas. And then we also have some other cool stuff as well for Lord of the Rings, and also some books. So let's take a little look here. So first off, the boarding patrol Adeptus Custodes. We did the breakdown on this, and it's a pretty nice deal. Anytime you can get Custodes at a discount, it's always nice, and they do tend to sell out pretty quickly. I think of all the boarding patrols, even though it's not the best deal, I think this one will sell out the quickest. Trajann is always in high demand. Basically, every army is going to start with some guard and some terminators and Trajann, so I think this is the perfect box. 110 bucks for this, and I think it will sell out relatively quickly. So if you do want one of these, I wouldn't mess around. Then we had the Boarding Patrol Thousand Sons. Again, we did the breakdown on this, $115 for this set, and it would cost you $120 just for the 20 Rubric Marines inside. So you basically are getting the 2 Chaos Spawn for free. So nice deal here as well. All these boxes coming in right around like 33 to like 36% discount over MSRP. So some nice sets here. And then we have the Boarding Patrol Adeptus Sororitas. So this one is a little more pricey at $140. It does have quite a bit of models in here and is a really nice savings. I want to say this one came out to 220 MSRP, but also it just has some really nice units in it that you don't often see in the discount boxes. We've seen Sacresants in a few boxes before. They are really good, especially after the pullback of Armor of Contempt. Now with those shields, they offer that extra +1 to their save for the 2-up, and then they have the nice invuln as well. Very good in combat. And then, of course, the Repentia as well are very, very good, hard hitters, and pretty much in every Adeptus Sororitas list. And who doesn't need a Canoness and some sisters also? Now, if you were expanding, maybe a little bit of this is redundant, but overall, it is a really nice box and great savings. All right, so on to the Middle Earth. So they have the Cowdor Settlement, which is basically $245. It's 2 of the ruins, 1 of the mansion, and 1 of the tower. And it is just a bundle. If you add up those 4 items on their own, they come out to exactly $245. So there's no savings or anything like that. Just rather than having to add 4 individual items to your cart, you can just click one time. I do really like all of this terrain. The mansion is super cool. They did like a full-on breakdown of how it's built and how customizable it is. And I really think it's like revolutionary in terrain building. Really, really nice setup here. Then we have the tower, super cool as well. A little less interactive on the actual game table, but very cool. Also gives you a little bit of that extra height. So you put an archer or a mage up there or something and can have a pretty cool game. And then we have the Cowdor Ruins. So these are pretty basic, but overall really nice, super modular, lots of options for creativity. You could really build anything out of these, as we saw from Zorpazorp and his little special on the Lord of the Rings and like the building of all this. And then next we have the Necromunda, Aranthian Succession, the Vaults of Temenos. So 50 bucks for that, and that is pretty much a necessity if you're wanting to play with the Enforcers or Cowdor. This is basically their expansion book that gives them access to their special rules for ash waste and their vehicles. So we see the Enfrocer Sanctioner pattern Automata, 50 bucks for this. It was not originally on the price list, so I wasn't sure if it was actually going to make it this week, but they are 50 bucks. You do get 2 of those. They're pretty cool. They have a lot of weapons options and everything. They're a little bit two-dimensional for me, but I think with some customizations and maybe a little different of a paint job, they could look really cool. And if we take a little scroll down here, we see those Cowdor Ridgewalkers, 50 bucks for those. Very cool. Definitely looking forward to the conversions with those as well. Then we have our Cowdor Gang Ashwaste dice set, $20.50. I really like the look of these. The red with like the bone colored dice is super cool. They're kind of like gritty, dirty. I love it. Perfect for the Ashwaste. Then we have those vehicle tactics cards for the Cowdor as well. So you're going to need these if you want to use the Cowdor vehicles for ash waste as well. All right, and then on to the new paint sets. So we have the Citadel Color Battle Ready paint set for $130 and the Citadel Color Parade Ready paint set for $115. So the Battle Ready set is 30 total paints, and it has all base paints and shades included in it. As where the Parade set is also 30 paints, and that one is all layer paints. So the idea being that if you want to paint to the minimum standard, you want to grab the Citadel Color Battle Ready set, and then if you want to take it to the next level, Parade standard, for 115, you can grab that set as well, and then you'll have like all of your highlight colors and everything. I do like the idea of these paint sets, especially when they're at a discount. In the past, when we've seen Games Workshop do these, they have gone pretty quickly, and with the exception of the paint starter sets, we haven't seen them added permanently to the line. So I'm going to assume for right now that these are limited time only, and then if we're pleasantly surprised and they do stick around, that's great. I think that would be a great idea on their part. And honestly, I really hope that we start to see some contrast paint like starter set, and then also a little something like this as well. So pretty good sets. If you do the actual breakdown, the Battle Ready set is a little more expensive because the shades are much more expensive. They're basically double the price of the standard paints. So that does add that extra like $15 in cost in there. But when we did the actual breakdown on these, it was about like 15% savings. So anytime you get a deal on Games Workshop paints, it's exactly that, an opportunity to save a little money because it doesn't come around that often. Now I know actual Games Workshop stores do something where you can buy 10 paints and the 11th is free or something like that. But we actually don't have a Games Workshop store anywhere around here. And I know worldwide there's a lot of places that don't have access to one. So that's not really an option. So this does present a cool option for people. I like the idea of it. We'll see how they play out. I would imagine they're going to sell out relatively quickly. So if you have been looking for an option to save a little money and jump into the Citadel color paint range, this might be the one for you. Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video. Then we have our Vaults of Terra, the Dark City paperback. $16 for this if you're into the Vaults of Terra and the continuation of the story. And then we see a little bit of our stuff from last week. Shadow Sun, the Patient Hunter, the Arcs of Omen, Farsight, Enclave dice. I do like those dice. And then we see the Digital Aranthian Secession. And then we see the Arcs of Omen, Farsight, still in stock. Boarding Patrol Grey Knights, Boarding Patrol Jukari. Some nice sets here. And then we see Boarding Patrol Necrons, Boarding Patrol Eldari. Unfortunately, as we kind of expected, Games Workshop severely underestimated the demand for the Boarding Patrol Tau Empire and just how excited people were to have like Games Workshop Gundams, aka Commander Farsight, and some suits. So that was sold out in seconds, unfortunately, and it doesn't look like at this time it's going to come back. So hopefully the individual Farsight model is not too far behind, because I know a lot of people are really disappointed not being able to get a hold of one of these. It also doesn't really make sense. Like Games Workshop had to know that people were going to be really excited about Snickrot, but particularly about Farsight. So like make less of all the other boarding patrols and like double or triple or 10x how many of these you make. But we have to understand too that their motivation is not always the same as ours. They like to sell these discount box sets, but obviously they would prefer to sell everything direct to customer at full price. So that being said, it is unfortunate. A lot of people missed out on Snickrot and the Orc Boarding Patrol, but even more on the Tau Empire Boarding Patrol and Farsight. But he will be around eventually. Also, we did see the Collector's Farsight Enclave, and then also the Collector's Farsight Arcs of Omen book sold out very, very quickly as well. So lots of cool stuff coming this week. If you're after any of these boarding patrols, I think the Adeptus Custodes one will probably sell out relatively quickly. Sororitas, maybe. Thousand Suns, I don't think it's going to be like flying off the shelves or anything. I do like this new terrain for Lord of the Rings and wish it was larger. I would definitely use this in some of my D&D or Sigmar games, but the scale is just not quite right on it. So let me know what you're most excited about, what you're going to be picking up. Let me know if you're bummed out because you missed out on Snickrot or Farsight, or let me know what you're most excited about this week. Finally getting your hands on Trajann or expanding one of your existing armies. As always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the video. Make sure to check them out. Link in the description to save 15%. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.